Hello everyone in the Far Cry community. This is Commander Coulson. I'm here to talk to you today about these two particular features that I'd love to see in the upcoming Far Cry 5 editor. Now, I'm sure most of you are just as excited as I am about the upcoming editor, which, is rumored to have both single player and supposedly is bringing back the multiplayer aspect of the Far Cry editor, which is just fantastic. Now, something that I feel has been kind of lacking in the Far Cry 4 especially, and not as much in Far Cry 3, but it definitely could have been improved upon, was the class of non-projectile enemies. Now, what I'm saying when I say that is that, for instance, in the Far Cry 3 editor, we had the all black clad figure with the red mask, and they would chase you around with a knife. They couldn't throw anything at you, they didn't shoot anything at you, they were just simply a melee enemy. And I loved that because it allowed me to make zombie maps, it allowed me to do just all this cool stuff and feel like I was doing zombie stuff. And I'm a big zombie fan, I love Walking Dead. I would love to be able to kind of recreate Walking Dead settings in the Far Cry 5 editor, especially because the Montana palette is very similar to that Atlanta, Georgia feel. You could do a lot with zombies in the Far Cry 5 editor. This brings me to Far Cry 4, where we had the Shangri-La beheaders. Now, unfortunately, with those, however, they added on the projectile attack, being they would throw knives and stuff at you, and that made it really difficult to do zombies in Far Cry 5 because, obviously zombies don't throw projectiles at you, and it kind of just broke the immersion, made it really difficult to use. So for Far Cry 5, this is my request directly to Ubisoft, the devs, anyone in the forums who can see this. I would love to see the return of a projectile-only enemy, someone that would only attack you if they got close enough, someone who couldn't throw knives at you, couldn't throw bats at you, couldn't throw anything at you. They would have to get up close and personal and be able to physically melee you in order to actually attack you. Now, I know the devs are doing great work right now. I can't wait to see what they cook up in the Far Cry 5 editor. However, I believe an actual zombie AI would just be so sweet to have in the editor. It kind of be akin to the Far Cry 3 having the weird black-clad masked figure melee AI, Far Cry 4 having the Shangri-La kind of evil spirit melee AI. Why not in the Far Cry 5 editor have the, American zombie AI? I just feel like it kind of fits with that reoccurring theme that they have in each editor. It could honestly be as simple as just taking one of the shirtless enemy AIs and just, covering them up in a little blood and stuff, recording a few growls and stuff in Audacity and just adding it to his character instead of actual speech, and just taking away his knife and literally just having him come up to you and melee you as if he's punching you. I don't think it needs to even be much. I think something as simple and as basic as that would do the trick, and man, it would be so great. The next feature that I'd love to see return is that of overcast and rainy weather. Now, Far Cry 4 was a little limited in its weather effects, meaning that we only had a few cloud options, and the only real actual inclement weather option that we had was snow. There was no more rain, there was no more overcast or big stormy weather. I would love to see this return to the Far Cry series, especially because, once more, the palette of Montana acts as a dual palette, in which, with a little rain and a little clouds, it could easily look like the rainy and overcast states of both Oregon and Washington State. Now, I'm personally born in Oregon, so I was born in Oregon, so I may have an attachment to this idea that a lot of other people may not, but just in general, I think having the extra weather option is always a plus. It's never a negative to give the users, especially users who are trying to create something original, it's never a bad thing to give them more options, and I think having more weather options, especially in the terms of rain and overcast clouds and such, would be fantastic. Now, of course, something I would like to request, though, is maybe not as stormy weather as there was in Far Cry 3, because in Far Cry 3 the stormy weather, it was kind of like a monsoon, which was really great and all, but at sometimes it just felt a little much, a little overbearing. So those are my only two real requests. I know everyone has a wish list, and I'm not saying that my particular wish list is any more important just because I'm making a video on it. I'm just doing this because I really would like to voice my opinion and try and get it out there, try and get the devs to hear this. I'm so excited for the Far Cry I'm so excited for Far Cry 5. I've been playing Far Cry since Far Cry 2. I used to watch my dad play Far Cry 1, and editing maps and creating spaces in these worlds to play around in is one of my favorite things to do. I've loved the Far Cry editor for years, so I would love to see these key features added in, ones that I personally would just love to see, and I think could be beneficial overall for different game modes and different creative endeavors. Some of you may know I actually am one of the winners from the Map Jam #2, so I'd just like to go ahead and take this opportunity to also once again thank Ubisoft, both for the free copy of the game and for the additional goodies that I got in the mail. I hope you guys have had an excellent holiday season, and I cannot wait to play Far Cry 5.